Assabet Valley Regional Technical High held the first robotics competition Marlboro Kickoff event Saturday, January 9th. Nearly 22 teams attended the local kickoff event. More than 75,000 high school students worldwide eager and ready for the unveiling of the 2016 Robotics Challenge First Stronghold. I met with Cindy Zomar, who helps with funding the first robotic competition.
This was Dean Kamen's brainchild in 1989, actually. Dean Kamen is the renowned inventor who came up with the Segway and a wheelchair that climbs stairs and things. And he thought that kids look up to the wrong people today, and they should look up to scientists and engineers and technicians and mathematicians, people who make the world go round, literally. So he came up with this idea. It's a game of the mind, and so every year in January, students find out, it used to be across the state, then across the country, now across the world, people find out what this year's robot has to do in a competitive setting.
So the unveiling for today is to really show all the teams, you have to build a robot around all these pieces. You have to be able to traverse obstacles, such as like basically teeter-totters. And really, the idea is that this is for anybody coming into the game this year, they haven't really seen anything like this. This is, I mean, coming from alumni, I'm looking at all this stuff, and it's just so drastically different from what it used to be. So in the sense that, oh, hey, if you saw, like, oh, hey, you had a good robot this year, you saw, like, oh, hey, I like that robot's drive system. You can't really use that for every year, especially with this one, because everything is so different.
This year is wild and crazy, and that's what the kids are all excited about, is finding out what this year's game is. But the best part for me of watching what FIRST is, and this is my 18th year with the program, and I don't build robots, I just get sponsorships because I can't build robots, but I'm so fascinated by the fact that kids can build robots that do things. But beyond that, there's the camaraderie. These group of kids become a family, absolutely. And then when you go to a competition, unlike an NFL football game where you might have seen over the weekend where people were doing nasty things to each other, or a basketball game between two high school teams and they have to hire guards. At a FIRST competition, everybody roots for everybody else. It is one big family, and one of the main tenets of FIRST is called gracious professionalism. So you root for other teams, and you might hear over the intercom, Team 731 is missing a wheel. Does anyone have an extra wheel? And 14 teams run over and say, we've got one, try this, try that. You don't see that anywhere else. These kids learn problem solving at the very beginning because we have a challenge that we have to meet. So we do problem solving, they do critical thinking, they absolutely have to have teamwork. Because if you're doing the programming for the robot and I'm working on the arm mechanism, we would make that up because I wouldn't do that, and somebody else is working on the drive mechanism, and you only have 120 pounds and you only have 6 weeks, you have to talk to each other. You have to make sure that everybody's agreeing on what they're doing and we're all heading in the same direction. So that teamwork is a critical part.
The Alliance quest is to breach the opponent's defense, known as the Outer Works, weaken their towers, and capture it. There are more than 10,000 possible field configurations and boulders that are given to use as defense.
The kids are making their decisions on how we'll do it, and then with the mentor's help, we'll try to make that work and try to make it happen, and we've been really good at that. So we are a force to be reckoned with whenever. So it's fun to be an Aztec.
Can't wait to see what Assabet High does over the next 6-week span. We'll definitely be sure to check in with them and see their progress. From Marlboro This Week, I'm Zoe Zandora.